There's moderate fuel load to the north that could create issues, again, with a wind-driven fire. With recent events, we've seen fire jump roads like it wasn't even there, and it didn't even matter if the road was there. So that can be an issue, especially on a fire that's wind-driven. Some other issues we noticed were water supply. The farther away from town you live, the harder it is to find water sometimes, right? And our ingress and egress. Some of these roads going in and out of these areas, they're either one lane or they might be two lane, but there's one way in, one way out. Cavalry Hills, Twin Lakes, cedar trees and windbreaks that are overgrown and impinging on homes and outbuildings. That was a common theme pretty much through the whole subdivision. Again, water supply is an issue. Ingress and egress, you had one road in. You go on North Horizon Drive, leading into Cavalry Hills, you have General Dodge Road that wraps around. You got one road in, one road out. Again, creates an issue for us getting in and out and doing our jobs and getting you guys out safely as well. Next slide. Weaver Heights. Some of the primary concerns though, mostly 1 hour fuels, as he kind of touched on, as Jason kind of touched on, a lot of grass, flashy fuels around that area. Areas farther north into Weaver Hills Road have unmanaged cedar rows, and for us, concern was that the roads get narrower as well. A lot of sand in there, an issue that might not be mitigatable, but should be noted. And again, distance and water supply will be an issue for us. So going over to Rolling Hills, there was quite a few shrubs that are right up next to a lot of the houses there. Water supply, ingress and egress. Meadowlark and Thunderhead have one road in, one road out, kind of the common theme that we're seeing in a lot of these areas. And if it sounds repetitive, it's because that's a lot of what we're seeing, and that's a lot of an issue getting us in, you guys getting out. One thing to note as well is that the addresses are not easily read or easily noted due to the centralized mailboxes as you're pulling into Rolling Hills Road. So recognition towards that, and maybe getting it out there to have us be able to see your address is a lot easier. It'll make our job easier as well, not even just on the fire side of it, but EMS as well. But Lake Maloney area, there was concern as you're going off and coming around the west side of the lake that if there is a fire that starts in that open area and it's a wind-driven fire pushing from the west or northwest, it will get into a lot of those dead, dying coniferous trees and deciduous trees as well. There's a lot of ladder fuels there that we saw, and it will not take much for that fire to jump the road and get to those houses right on the lake. Those densely populated areas, and not only just those densely populated areas, but a lot of shrubs next to a lot of the houses. A good majority of the houses had that from what we saw. For the homes that are on the south part of the lake, it has that prairie that's right behind it. If we get a southerly wind, there's a lot of waist-high grass that kind of turns into ladder fuels with a lot of cedar trees along the south side that will get into those residences as well. Down to Prairie View Acres and Estates, a lot of what we're seeing out there is any fire that originates on South 83, as he explained with the upslope winds and the location of the residences in regards to where the highway is. If anything starts off the highway, it's going to climb up the hill very quickly and get into the cedars and pines that are on the edge of this subdivision area. That's an issue because there's also houses right there as well. So that fire has the chance to progress very quickly. A lot of the native grasses that are around there as well are going to promote a lot of rapid fire spread. And the canyon that's located to the west side, that kind of originates in the Jandabar Heights area, the Indian Hills area, that it goes all the way through to the west side of Prairie View Acres and Estates. And as he explained, in the chimney effect and the canyons and the cedars that we're seeing there, that fire will roll through there relatively quickly. And something that we identified is the majority of the houses on the perimeter on that west side could be impacted. Again, water supply and distance from fire resources is going to be an issue. Indian Hills, some of the primary concerns, all unused lots have overgrown with trees. I know that Jason has been working diligently in some of his mitigation efforts. I know he's been out there and their crews have been out clearing trees at some points. And if you want to get together on and discuss that in the Indian Hills area afterwards, you're more than welcome to. But removal of dead cedars and pines, we're seeing a lot of dead fuels as opposed to the live fuels that we see. And almost all the residences around there have the wooden decks that if these cedars and pines are loaded with, pine needles or leaf litter, it could go up relatively quickly as well into the house. Jandabar Heights, cedar trees, tall native grasses, and canyons between Indian hills and promote rapid fire spread. There's several hills that are located near that canyon area, and there's a lot of narrow roads going in and out of there, so access is going to be limited for us, and fire spread is going to be rapid. Getting water supply in there is going to be an issue as well, due to how many different roads lead into those residences. Moving farther south, Prairie Zephyr and Henry Sale and Henry Road and Sail Ridge Road area. Primary concern here is there is several cedar rows, but one that kind of gets overlooked is the crop fire potential. And we really haven't touched on that much, but again, it doesn't take much if the fuel conditions are right and the fire conditions are right for these fires to roll through even corn stalks that are already either grazed off or below knee height. It'll roll through those pretty quickly. And so one thing we noted is that if there is a crop fire, it has the potential to get into this area pretty quickly and progress pretty rapidly if it's again a wind-driven fire, which we don't have wind in Nebraska, right? Going farther south, off South 83, we got the Horsehaven area, mostly waist-high grass going into rows of unmanaged and dead cedars, which then lead up right into houses. It was kind of concerning in this area because the rate of spread would be very rapid in this area, and the distance from town and the distance from fire resources with this area is of great concern. Lots of these houses had the trees within 5 feet. I mean, I'm talking the majority of the residences had overgrown cedars or pines right up next to their residences. And again, getting farther back into Horsehaven off Quarter Horse Drive, getting up into the farther west in this area, the roads get narrow and access in there gets very hard for us. We've decided that we wanted to create a program specific to North Platte because that's the area we care about. So we pulled information from Firewise and other mitigation programs and strategies out there, and we plugged it in and we put it together, and these are the assessment tools we used when we're going out and driving around in your communities, in your areas. This is the assessment tools we're using. So we're going around and driving around and looking at, and we didn't just Google map it and look from an aerial view. We actually had people out driving around to make sure that we saw eyes on what we actually are going to be dealing with in the event of a wildfire.